I'm not sure why Max B and French Montana is feeding a goat, right? And the goat's name is Zeus. Something is going on here, bro. Shut up! This is absolutely wild. Not only that, guys, this is in California. Now, I'm not sure if they're near a farm or something, but that goat looks mighty strange. And you know what this means, guys. I really don't got to say nothing. Like I said, guys, this is in California somewhere. Somebody got a goat in their yard. Like, something's up. This is actually very strange. The fact that the goat's name is Zeus. We all know who Zeus is. Not just playing around, guys. Entertainment purposes only. They're just feeding the goat. They love animals. Maybe a farm was nearby, right? I don't know what they doing feeding a goat named Zeus. Let me know if you know what's up with this. I'm out.
This is a controversial opinion. I know it's going to be, and people are going to disagree with me, but it just has to be said. So it looks like I'm the one that's going to have to say it. But stop getting tattoos. Tattoos, very simply, don't look good. They don't look good on practically anyone. Okay, nothing to me is worse than seeing so many girls, and it's almost every girl I see now, walking down the street, they look amazing, and then boom, they have like either a random tattoo or a whole sleeve of random tattoos. It has to stop. It doesn't look good. Okay, now we're at a point where a third of Americans are tattooed. This used to be like a counterculture, subversive thing to get a tattoo, but now every single person practically has a tattoo. It is so hard to walk down the street and find someone not tattooed.
There's actual geological evidence that there's water erosion on the outside of the Temple of the Sphinx due to rainfall. Thousands of years of rainfall. Well, thousands of years of rainfall means, at the very least, the Sphinx is 9,000 years old.
Yeah.
But that's probably way older than that because you have to have thousands of years of rainfall from the time that it was constructed to make these kind of deep fissures into the stone.
And it was buried for much of its recent history, which means there was not erosion taking place the entire time it was buried.
And, you know, if there was rain erosion like they're proposing, it had to have been way back 9,000 years ago.
Long time.
Yup, Area 51 just lost the size of 3,000 football fields worth of land, with 0% of the fire being contained, and many are warning this fire is not normal. People were terrified after locals began swearing a flash split the sky, with booms rolling for miles, and by morning a massive wildfire was tearing through the most guarded land in America. Many now convinced whatever went off in there is what those fences were built to hide. Eerie reports show the fire growing stronger by the day, tripling overnight despite people insisting there is nothing out there to keep it going, with the crews that were supposed to put it out warning that they were told to just stand there and watch it burn just to make it appear like they were putting it out, leaving many believing whatever is turning into ash in there might have been done on purpose. But it gets much stranger, as months ago something crashed out of this exact sky and they still will not say what it was. When investigators went back, someone had snuck in and left fake plane parts seemingly to throw them off, and one scientist who worked inside swore there are flying saucers hidden underground in this exact desert. And while officials say this was likely just lightning,
Reddit user ShazzaMM shared this terrifying recording of a truck driver stopped alone at night. Moments after leaving the cab to inspect the vehicle, he discovers that something is waiting where no one should be. As the driver lowers his camera toward the ground, two bright red, human-like legs can be seen standing beneath the opposite side of the truck. The rest of the mysterious figure remains completely concealed, as though someone had been silently hiding there in the darkness. The driver immediately recoils and runs for his life. Perhaps someone was hiding behind the truck as part of a cruel prank, or the bizarre sight was deliberately staged. But if the driver's terror was genuine, who was standing beneath his vehicle in the dead of night? And how long had that silent figure been waiting for him to step?
Yo, what in the world is the possibility of right after that monster earthquake that just went off in Japan, that this super weird suspect cloud formation pops up in Japan right after. And by the way, come right back to that. We've been having very weird experimental blast off the coast in Florida that keeps triggering what appears to be an earthquake. Yeah, it's happening right now. It just happened. It happened last week. It's happening while this is all going on. Now tell me why that cloud, unrelated of course, looks like a nuke cloud, right? And at the same exact time, they're weighing out the options of nuclear type options against Iran.
It's Iran.
Shut up. That's pretty suspect. At the same exact time, they're running like AI drills on manpower involving military drafts. Yeah, that's an awfully weird chain of events. And by the way, the Conspiracy Mail Club is now live, where I will be sending members photocopies of really, really old books that say things a little bit differently than the way that we are told right now. Pretty wild that right when I started it today, I saw a headline that AI corporations are buying all of these old books to destroy them. It kind of seems like they don't want us to know what used to be said in these books. If you want to join the Mail Club, say Mail Club in the comments.
Why do so many people go missing in our national parks? There's a theory about these places called containment theory, and it claims that America's national parks weren't created only to protect the wilderness from us, but they may have also been created to contain something that lurks inside. Between 2018 and 2023, almost 1,200 people have been reported missing from national parks. Most of these people were eventually found, but a number of them never came home. Think about what lies within many of these parks: isolated mountain ranges, enormous cave systems, dense forests, volcanic regions, and millions of acres where someone could disappear without a trace under normal circumstances. But there are many cases out there where it makes no sense how somebody disappeared. And a lot of these cases have similar hallmarks, like turning a bend on a trail and just vanishing. Massive search efforts will happen and either nothing is found, or it's just an article of clothing or shoes being found way too far away from where that person went missing, or their shirt is neatly folded on a log, or something of theirs was found up on a mountainside that would be almost impossible to get to. And sometimes when remains are found, they show up in an area that was already searched several times. Now, the idea, according to this theory, is that national parks might double as containment zones, but containing what? The theory connects these places to unexplained disappearances, strange lights, UFO sightings, cryptid encounters, and other high strangeness activity that the government might even know what's going on secretly about this. Some even think that there could be an agreement with whoever or whatever occupies these regions. Something like, we won't push our civilization into your territory, but anyone who enters there becomes an acceptable risk to go missing. Think about people like Teddy Roosevelt. He was once a president in the early 1900s, a conservationist, avid outdoorsman who protected enormous areas of wilderness and helped pave the way for the National Modern Park System. He even has an account of a creature that sounds a lot like a Bigfoot. So did he know something that we don't, and that's why he pushed for certain areas of our country to be contained and preserved? And there's the idea that some of these regions may be something called a window area, or portals, vortexes, locations where paranormal and high strangeness activity occurs more frequently. We even have NASA confirming that portals exist out in space, so why couldn't they exist here on Earth? And maybe the geology itself is responsible. Many mountain ranges in these parks contain quartz-rich rock, and did you know that quartz under intense pressure, like a mountain pressing down on it, can produce an electrical charge through something called the piezoelectric effect? Some think this phenomena could generate unusual electromagnetic activity, causing things like disorientation, strange lights, possibly even opening gateways or portals into some other place. Now this and the missing 411 phenomenon is a whole rabbit hole to dig down into. So are these containment zones real? What do you think's going on here?
This one is crazy. So in an episode called Hang the DJ, there was a whole storyline about AI assistants going on virtual dates with other AI assistants so that you didn't have to actually go on the date yourself. You could just send your AI assistant, find your match. It's super easy. You don't have to waste time. Well, this is a real clip of a CEO of a dating company. This is real that I'm about to show you right now.
Bumble's. That's it.
It's Bumble?
Yes, the CEO of Bumble.
Oh my God.
Our focus with AI is to help create more healthy and equitable relationships. And that also starts with yourself. How can we actually teach you how to date? How can we help you show up in a better way?
Give me an example.
Okay, so for example, you could in the near future be talking to your AI dating concierge.
What?
And you could share your insecurities.
What?
I just came out of a breakup. I have commitment issues. and it could help you train yourself into a better way of thinking about yourself.
Ew.
And then it could give you productive tips for communication.
So look what happens when this guy applies electricity and magnetism to mercury. It makes the mercury spin, and it actually generates its own electromagnetic torus field. There's a lot of crazy things that mercury can do. Like, for instance, if you were to take mercury and then attach it to an antenna, you could actually watch television from anywhere in the world. So if you're in the woods in Siberia, you can actually watch Love Island. You don't have to miss a single episode. And that's because mercury can transmit and receive electromagnetic frequencies. Have you seen the movie X-Men, where Quicksilver is like running around super fast and saving everyone in under a split second? Well, this is all very symbolic. Quicksilver is actually just another name for mercury. So mercury can transmit and receive information from the electromagnetic field, which is exactly why Mercury in Roman mythology is the messenger of the gods. Notice that staff that Mercury is holding. What is that? That's two snakes coiling up a staff, the caduceus, that is symbolic of electricity and magnetism spinning and creating a toroidal field. We actually used to put mercury in these little things in lighthouses to where the light would be suspended in mercury so that we didn't have to sit there and crank it 24/7. It would just spin on its own. But I made this video entirely for entertainment.
I keep telling y'all, stop eating at these fast food restaurants. You're going to wind up reaching the pearly gates faster than you think. So this man goes to Popeyes, orders what he usually orders, gets back to his respected area and is about to eat what he ordered. And when he started digging in his chicken, a condom came out. You heard what I just said? He opened his order, digged in his chicken, and a condom came out. But you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. I need you to look at what's going on right here. Because a lot of y'all going to think I'm lying right now. That is a condom. That condom was inside his chicken. Mind you, it's a whole bunch of things that ran through my mind when I seen that. Because what's going on at that Popeyes? What type of activities do they have going on behind that counter? Because ain't no way that a used condom could be inside someone's chicken if it wasn't put there. That means whoever is in that Popeyes, they doing more than cooking chicken. They cooking chicken. I keep telling y'all that fast food is gonna catch up with you. But if you like eating chicken with condoms in it, well, I'll let them tell you.
I better go to another Popeye.
Listen.
So if you like, they choking chickens in here.
If you like eating chicken with condoms in it,
step right on up and get
step right on up.
Y'all better get ready for this one. Because this is the craziest rabbit hole, most demonic, crazy food item. I can't even, let's just dive into it. This is a deep rabbit hole. You probably want to do more research on what I'm about to show you. But let's just dive right in. I start researching the Greek gods yogurt. It sketched me out that they're called the Greek gods. They have ads with Medusa in them and Poseidon, and they have symbolism of Poseidon on the packaging. This brand was just setting off my spiritual discernment. Here's where it gets even deeper than what I just showed you. I start researching, what are they donating to? Who owns the company? These are things you should do when you want to vet if a brand is okay to buy or not. They are owned by the Hain Celestial Group. Now, this also includes Celestial Tea, Earth's Best Organics, Maranatha Peanut Butter, Garden of Eden Snacks. These all have very spiritual names. Like Maranatha means come, Lord, come. So I look up, are they a Christian brand? No, they're not. Celestial Tea. This is what got it all together. Celestial Tea was founded by a gentleman named Mo Siegel. Mo Siegel is part of a cult called Urantia. You'll need to look this up. Mo Siegel, the founder of Celestial Tea, he is a lifelong follower of the Urantia book, and his devotion to it shaped the brand. The quotes on the box and the product names and company values all come from this cult. Now, to give you a brief summary of this cult, they believe we live on World 606 in a universe system called Satania. They believe Jesus is a creator's son named Michael that incarnated in a body, Jesus of Nazareth. Oh, this cult is super racist. They believe there is a racial hierarchy, that races should not mix together. It was super racist. I'll just post the information if you want to look into it more. Feel free to pause and look into that. I've noticed with most cults and false religions, it's literally just them trying to come up with some kind of belief system that justifies either having lots of wives and partners or a racist mindset or some other just justification of whatever impure desires are in their heart. I will not be buying Celestial tea or Yogi for that matter. I will be getting Twinings or Bigelow or something else, but I do need to look more into other teas, but definitely not Yogi or Celestial. Peanut butter, I'm not getting Maranatha. I'm mad that I bought that before. I'm mad that I bought Earth Best Organics. Baby snacks. By the way, y'all, Once Upon a Farm is founded by a Christian and it's super clean, so I will be getting their snacks instead. And as for the yogurt, instead of the Greek gods, get Fage. Fage is also owned by a Christian family. So I hope this was helpful. I love y'all. This was a crazy rabbit hole, but y'all have a beautiful day. God bless, and spread the word on this one, because this is what.
Listen up. So do y'all remember last year when we only had one planet parade and it was on February the 28th? This year we have 3. So we had a 6-planet parade on February the 28th of this year, and we had a mini parade with 3 planets on June the 11th through the 15th. And our next planet parade, which will consist of 6 planets, is on August the 12th this year. Not only that, but we are going to have a total solar eclipse, and we're going to see a meteor shower. There have been so many signs this year, but this one I'm looking forward to, because this year we are seeing a lot of signs.
Around Antarctica. So you have a Starlink? Yeah. Okay, it's confiscated. You'll receive it on the way back.
Now, I will agree, when I first watched this, I thought this was very strange, but after doing some research, it does make sense, at least mostly. This video allegedly shows the very first live stream from Antarctica. We then cut forward to a different point in the stream, and there's somebody coming up to him, confiscating his Starlink, so we're led to believe that they're not going to let him stream at all. Now, for a long time, there have been numerous conspiracy theories about Antarctica and what's going on there, so this really feeds into people's belief that something is going on there, and clips from the stream are posted with the false caption that he's in trouble for doing this. In reality, there's no actual law in place stating you can't stream here. Instead, many expeditions won't let you bring your own internet there because they want you to pay for theirs. Notice, this guy did not get in trouble while he was on the land. Notice, he got in trouble in the ship, so it makes complete sense at the end of the day. I will say, when you're close to the research stations, you aren't able to stream, but that's not because you're not allowed. It's because the service required to let you stream doesn't go there because it interferes with their equipment.
The question is, what would be the reason why they would want to keep something like this a secret? I don't totally understand it.
I don't either.
I mean, if there really were a race of giants that survived, let's assume that what we're talking about is what's referenced in the Bible, right? Let's assume, or at least the Book of Enoch, or the Nephilim, right? If we're talking about giants, like the thing about giants is like Native Americans have stories about red-headed giants. They talk about the same thing, about them having 6 fingers and 6 toes. They have these same myths. Like, how is it that people from the Middle East and people from North America have this same ancient story? And what is it in reference to? Like, why does that?
It's ubiquitous. The legends of giants are universal all over the earth.
Why hide that? That's what I don't understand. Like, the stories about the Smithsonian are always fascinating.
Yeah.
Because the stories are, there have been archaeological digs, and they have discovered like enormous femurs that they thought were like woolly mammoths or something, and then they realized like, well, this is a giant human, and they find hair, and the hair is red, and that they take these bones and they tuck them away somewhere. I mean, this is always the myth. They tuck them away in the basement of the Smithsonian or somewhere else, and for whatever reason, the general public is not allowed to know about this, and I don't totally understand. What is it about giants that they would try to keep from us? Like, if they find a new species of dinosaur that's extinct, they'll let you know.
Right.
Fascinating.
Right.
Amazing. They find Homo floresiensis, or however you say it, the little hobbit people.
Yeah.
They'll let you know. Look, we found little hobbit people. Pretty cool. Giants, for whatever reason.
You know, it's a conundrum. And
if it's real. You think it's real?
Giants in general?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
What makes you think it's real?
Okay, so let me tell you why I think that this thing's being covered up, and then I'll tell you why I think it's real, and we'll go to Sardinia for that. So I, like you, have been wondering for a long time, like, what is the big deal? And initially, people in my field, especially people who are coming from a biblical perspective, the common answer is, well, the existence of giants would affirm the biblical narrative, right? And so the secular atheist types don't want the biblical narrative affirmed. That can't be right, because the existence of giants doesn't just affirm the biblical narrative. It affirms the myths and legends of every ancient culture across the globe,
Right.
including the Bible. So it's not something that's specific, exclusive to the text of Scripture. So it would just affirm all these legends in general. So the only thing that makes sense to me is that there's something very sinister going on in regard to the remains of giants.
You have to be initiated to practice.
Just like you don't have to be anything special to die.
That's one way to look at it.
It's just about people who wants to grab onto the path. Now I tell people that you have to be very careful because she will take away things that don't serve you.
It's like a cleanse.
Yeah, it's purging. It gets rid of things. Fake friends, people who don't wish you well, people who you were friends with for years, all of a sudden you become a part of Santa Muerte, boom, they're gone. I lost everybody. No, because those people were not meant to be there. Those people didn't mean you well. So that's why a lot of people have fear of La Santa Muerte, because they cross people of La Santa Muerte, and Santa Muerte retaliates in different forms. You're gonna go, oh, like people say, oh, you do something or you're gonna die or something's gonna happen, you're gonna break your arm. No, it doesn't come in that way. It comes in a form of a lesson. So like, for example.
But what if that lesson may cost you your life?
Energy can only be transferred at a certain extent. Like when you go to the justice system, they can't give you more than what you did.
Shit, they be doing that shit all the time.
They try to. I mean, no, I get to that. They try to. They want to.
Yeah.
But they have a lot. They have a structure, right? They have a structure. Like, for example, like they have with the drug dealer, they can only give you 3 to 5. They can't give you 10.
Frankie, why do you think everything is demonic? It's not that deep. You're just a conspiracy theorist. The United Nations is consulted by Lucifer. The Lucius Trust, their main goal is the establishment of a better way of life for everyone in the world, with a divine plan for humanity. One world government, new world order. Gut Nectus Orvo Ordo Sectalorum. What the hell is the Lucius Trust? Non-profit service organization started in 1922. They hold consultant status for the UN, but in 1920 they were founded as Lucifer Publishing Company. They changed it to Lucius, and the name was chosen to honor Lucifer. What the hell are people doing that honor Lucifer, consulting, guiding the UN, the United Nations? What the hell are they doing that for? Kind of weird though. Lucifer, the fallen angel, the Bible says would manifest as a world ruler, consults the UN. Oh, and it gets worse. And the founders, Alice Bailey and Foster Bailey, I believe, they wrote a book called The Spirit of Masonry, published by Lucifer Publishing Company. Also on the Lucius Trust website, when you look into it, there's a page called The Esoteric Meaning of Lucifer. In the article, it says that the Baileys had enormous respect for H.P. so-and-so, I'll leave his name here, who stated in her occult book, The Secret Doctrine, in a chapter titled Holy Satan. And it says in that book, in that chapter, it is Satan who is the God of this planet and the only God. And on the page, the article, it says that the Baileys, they sought to seek a better understanding of Lucifer's sacrifice. So it's reversed, right? Lucifer is the savior. Jesus, God, is the enemy. Lucifer sacrificed himself. God is the enemy. Evil is good, good is evil. So I want you to understand that the Lucius Trust are the consultants, the guiders, the foundation.
In 1978, a famous singer sat on the radio and tried to expose one of the UK's most powerful TV presenters. Listen closely to the clip that I'm going to play. I found this footage and I can't stop thinking about it. Now everyone in the industry claims they had no idea what this presenter was doing back then. But watch what happens when Piers asks him who is on his list.
Of a BBC radio interview you did in 1978 recently came to light. Now, it's never been played on television before, but it has a particular relevance. Let's listen to this.
So who else is on the goner list?
Oh, it's endless, believe me. I just want to make a film of it. On film, I'd like to kill Jimmy Savile. I think he's a hypocrite.
Weren't I right?
I bet he's into all kinds of seediness that we all know about, but not allowed to talk about. I know some rumours. I bet none of this will be allowed out.
The official story at the time was that the audio was cut out for legal reasons, except it wasn't just edited out, he was immediately banned from the radio for years, and the entire network decided to permanently silence him to protect their star presenter, which...
Listen up. So let's talk about rabbit holes. In alchemy, the initial journey is sometimes depicted as the pursuit of a rabbit into the mountain of Mercury. And in this instance, it's usually described as a symbol for intellect or logic. And many people claim that the truther movement does not have any occult undertones, but it does. Because you can clearly see the parallels between the two. Because just like in the occult, the truther is going down rabbit holes, trying to find truth. And did you know that the term rabbit hole is a Masonic term? Going down the rabbit hole was a term they used for initiation, or the journey of initiation into the lodge. And we all know that it comes from this movie by Lewis Carroll from 1865's Alice in Wonderland. She falls down a rabbit hole and finds herself in this strange mystical world, which is pretty similar to the truther movement, because people become awakened to the lies and illusions of the world. You kind of go through this ego death. You're then initiated into the same Luciferian forms of spirituality or belief. That is the same thing in the occult world. And I've seen this meme and it describes it perfectly. Tell me the truth. I'm ready to hear it. If the rabbit hole doesn't lead you to finding God, then you'll wind up in the endless loop of misery and loneliness. And it's true, because if you're looking for truth, the truth is in Jesus Christ. The Bible says in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 7, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Because the thing is, you're going to find God if you're looking for truth. I don't know many people that have gone looking for truth and not found Jesus at the end. And in order to avoid deception in the last days, we must be lovers of the truth. And reading your Bible is the best defense you have against the lies of the world. The more you study your Bible, the better defense you have against deception.
Schools in 3 states are now instituting drones to stop active shooters, pepper spraying drones to be exact. This video is obtained by the Washington Post, and it shows a live reenactment of drones targeting an active shooter. Now, many of you have sent me this video. I have many thoughts. This is going to be in 3 states, 9 schools, Colorado, in Florida, and also in Georgia. They're equipped and able to smash through windows, pepper spray an active shooter, and confront a shooter within 15 seconds. Now, I have so many thoughts. Number 1, it is really telling that as we head back to another school year, we have to do this. That shootings are so common in schools and just across the country, gun violence is so rampant, that a company has to create drones to stop it. Number 2, the fact that a company has to create drones to stop active shooters and the legislature doesn't actually do its job. And number 3, peak capitalism is companies profiting off of the prevention of gun violence in America, right? There are ways to prevent gun violence, and many are saying drones that pepper spray active shooters, probably not one of them. But we'll see what happens. We'd love to know your thoughts. Spread the word. Follow.
They're saying these fires smell like... what?
Doesn't necessarily smell like a campfire burning, because as the smoke is carried across thousands of miles, sunlight breaks down these compounds, leaving behind toxic substances like benzene and formaldehyde, which is why the air can smell like chemicals. The American Lung Association warning of the long-lasting impacts from this, saying these particles can penetrate deep into the lungs and even enter the bloodstream.
Sunlight makes the air smell like chemicals now. I've lived in California my whole fucking life. Never once has a wildfire smell like no goddamn chemicals. But let's see what else he's got to say.
Coal pollution triggers asthma attacks, heart attacks, and strokes, and can kill.
Wow. So not only does this wildfire smell like chemicals, but it can cause you to have a stroke and can kill you. That's a first.
Hi, Mama. Hi. I honor you as a general and a leader of many nations in this end-time revival. What are the 3 most valuable qualities of a leader that you have learned through your spiritual father?
Hallelujah. Praise God. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus.
This is going to be a crazy Netflix documentary one day.
Well, nothing says honesty like taking the fifth, huh, Doc? Let's try something. What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color's the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Let's just get one thing straight. You don't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment because you've been pardoned, as you very well know. As the Supreme Court has been clear for a century and more, Brown versus Walker, 1896, when he has been pardoned, he may not stand upon his privilege. You know that. Your lawyer is sitting behind you now, shifting nervously in their chairs. They know it. This isn't about the Constitution. This isn't about the law. This is about contempt. Contempt for this body and contempt for the American people. But I think I know why you're doing it. It's because you don't want to answer questions. It's because you did all kinds of terrible things. It's because during the pandemic, you got rich, didn't you? You got rich while people were dying, hundreds of thousands of Americans, over 1 million in the end, and you were getting rich. And not only were you doing that, you were using federal employees with taxpayer money to apply for and solicit cash prizes for you personally. Cash prizes totaling over $1 million. You did all of that during the pandemic, didn't you? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
A favor in the audience and stand up if during the time of the COVID pandemic, you were called a racist for calling the virus a Wuhan virus or the China virus. If you thought the 6-foot rule was total crap, if you thought the vaccine wasn't something that you should take, if you thought it was outrageous the way the mask policy was rolled out, if you were fired from your job for not taking that vaccine, including members of the military, if you thought closing schools was catastrophically stupid, and that you thought that during these times saying these things made you somehow a lesser human being. Dr. Fletcher, can you just turn around and look at the people behind you? You're not willing to do that? That's not a question. It's not a question. To your lawyer, it's not a question. It's a request. All you have to do is look up from your lawyers and look at the people who were absolutely shamed for saying what we know now to be the truth. You can't even look at them? It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the fuck do you think you were for doing that?
That? Oh, there was a declassified operation called Operation Spectrum, which used sound frequency to control people's thoughts, actions, and feelings? Tell me more. They used electromagnetic and ultrasonic sound waves to be able to control what people did. Oh, goody. By playing certain frequencies, they were able to figure out that they could make an entire crowd be restless, focused, or even subdued. Okay. It didn't stop there. If there were certain people that didn't react to these frequencies, they could later find them and use this other type of weapon that would make them have a heart attack. What? This would actually shoot a toxic shellfish dart, and it would dissipate and dissolve in their body, and it would never look like anything hit their skin at all, and they would have a heart attack. Oh, fun! We have nothing to worry about because none of this is in use today, right? Right?
Can we talk about some theories around the story of the Odyssey? It was an actual historical event that happened. Atlantis was set in the time of the Bronze Age.
Wow.
Ooh, interesting.
Very cool.
Atlantis could have been destroyed, which started this domino effect of the whole known civilization just collapsing.
Interesting.
Like, Atlantis was supposedly the hub of the trading world, the mystery of the sea people. That's the biggest leading theory. No one knows who the sea people were. Neptune, Zeus, these were actually prevalent watchers in the day. Like they were actually ruling the ancient Bronze Age time. The collapse of the Bronze Age happened where the world went into the Dark Ages. Troy was the beginning of the downfall of humanity. Some things that happened during the Bronze Age collapsing was Mycenaean Greeks just disappeared, the Hittite Empire collapsed, major Canaanite cities collapsed, the wealthy trading city of Ugarit collapsed, and parts of Egypt did survive but were badly shaken. The whole known world just just started over. The Odyssey was preserving the things that were actually happening during the Bronze Age.
Yeah.
Just made into a story.
So now is the time for you to go out and buy books. And I don't mean books that were printed recently. I mean older books. I'm obviously not the first one to cover this, but several AI companies have purchased large quantities of physical books, cut off the spines, scanned every page, and discarded those books. Meaning they're scanning books into systems, that way they can train their AI and then completely destroying books. You know, and speaking of literature, in 1984, Winston Smith works at the Ministry of Truth, where his job is to alter old newspapers, speeches, and records so they always match the current party's current claims. You know, who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. Another important part is the memory hole, where Winston throws outdated or politically inconvenient documents into chutes, that way they lead to the furnace so they can be destroyed, you know, burned. And you know, once that evidence is gone, the official version is rewritten, and the party expects everyone to just accept the new reality. So people go out and buy used books, older books. Quit buying only ebooks. Because you can't sit here and tell me that those books that you're getting on your Kindle aren't being rewritten. You know, history's been rewritten before, so we're just watching it happen now. And those in power gain enormous influence over what society accepts as true. So once again, buy more books.
That these Canadian wildfires were all done by directed energy weapons, and this is the proof right here. This is a First Nations, by the way, and I'm sure this isn't just another land grab to steal the land from the indigenous people of this country. There's probably no mineral deposits or anything on this land that they would need too. Anyways, back to the directed energy weapons. You see how every residential building on this First Nations is pulverized. Green still on the trees, building pulverized into the ground. You guys ever see a house fire, the aftermath? Doesn't look like that. Exact same thing happened in Maui. Everything pulverized, trees still standing, blue things not burning. Blue pot right here didn't burn. The only house that didn't burn was blue here. Blue umbrellas didn't burn because why? I wonder why. Oh, maybe it's because lasers don't burn blue. They burn everything else except for blue. The wavelength of blue can't be burned by a laser. Perhaps that's why. Let's go ahead and have a look at the satellite images of these fires.
A huge, massive earthquake hit Japan today. There's been a lot of damage. Lives have been lost, and more information keeps coming in. That earthquake here in southern Japan happened early this morning and registered anywhere between a 6.8 to a 7.2 magnitude, which is massive. And it also has caused a tsunami warning. Yeah, because of where it hit, a tsunami is possible. Now, according to the mainstream news sources themselves, there are still tremors going on in that region of Japan right now. And the damage has been catastrophic, including a shopping mall collapsed. Yeah, a shopping mall collapsed, with confirmation that multiple, if not dozens of people have passed away. Now, even in those mainstream news articles, they talk about this earthquake being associated with the Ring of Fire, a group of dormant and active volcanoes that start in South America, go all the way up through North America, over to Russia, past China and Japan, and as far south as Australia. And in the past year or two, there have been a lot of earthquakes on the Ring of Fire. But for right now, the focus should be on this major, massive earthquake that just hit Japan. I'll keep you all updated the more stuff I find out. Shabadoo Booshkies, Shabadoo.
Oh my God.
Is that where I'm from?
So do you think all of this, because of course that touches on things like GMO being allowed. I remember famously our president wanted to sanction the GMO to enter our country, and of course people fought that because of course of the health ramifications. But in the States, do you think that kind of food ties into the diseases that come thereafter?
100%.
And Big Pharma?
Big Pharma does this. They'll FDA approve a certain sunscreen. Come to find out, the sunscreen gives you cancer.
I saw that.
Then they'll sell you the medicine at an extremely exorbitant price to treat the cancer. Then we find out that ivermectin gets rid of the cancer. You can't buy ivermectin. They label it as a horse dewormer. My mom had stage 4 colon cancer. I went and got the ivermectin. It's done. So when I get here to Kenya and I see how much national pride that the people have, it inspired me, because if the people here had the same amendment rights to bear arms, well, it wouldn't be no governments. Because we all seen how the whole Ebola treatment center got approved to be here, but then the high court overruled it. So now they're taking those people to Germany. The Kenyan people aren't going to allow that. And I feel like, shout out to Raila Odinga, because he was the one that kind of ended the tribalism between the different tribes and cultures here. Because contrary to popular belief, people think that African is a language. They think that African is just one race. That's not the case. If you come to Kenya, you got 47 plus different tribes.
Absolutely.
All with their own language. And then Swahili is a national language.
Yeah.
But when you go to Mombasa, the Swahili is different from in Nairobi.
Absolutely.
So here is Sheng, correct?
Sheng, of course, Swahili in its normal sense, but Sheng's, and then in Swahili has a more of an Arab, a different accent about it.
100%.
And more correct in terms of, it's actually more grammatically correct in Mombasa. It's pure, for lack of a better word.
More pure. And that's the thing, like, when you look at the landscape of how the continent is set up, it's a lot more tribalism where I'm from. They just call them gangs.
I know there's a lot of stuff going on with the golden juices, and I'm so sorry if I've alarmed everybody. People have told me that be careful, don't be pushed off of the freeway. Yeah, I'm big. It's not fair. It's not even fair. Times are really tough right now, and I'm just gonna find my next mask, because I don't want any problems around here.
Guys, please tell me you heard what I just heard in that clip. You know exactly what I am talking about. I'm sure the comment section will help. But if you want a clue, my real name's Isaac and I wear a cap. Let's just put it that way. And then there's the reference to this juice. I mean, I have a very good idea what she's talking about here. And I've even done a video on this previously. You can go on my profile, scroll a little bit back, it was recent, and have a look at it yourself. It's fair to say there's some very strange things going on in Tinsel.
Hey, what's up, America? Minnesota water supply cyber attack. Yes, so apparently over the last couple of days, more than 30 water systems in the state of Minnesota have undergone cyber attacks. So there's no problem with the water supply in Minnesota. And the Department of Health has let everybody know that there's no issue with their water. However, 4 locations, Plymouth, South St. Paul, Maple Plain, and Brom, have publicly disclosed that more than 30 water systems came under cyber attack from an unknown source at this time. The Minnesota Department of Health says that no municipality is asking residents to alter their drinking water or boil it due to the attacks. So apparently these cyber attacks failed because Minnesota put out cyber countermeasures that they had been spending millions of dollars to implement on our water supply. So apparently the state of Minnesota had anti-cyber attack safeguards against this exact sort of thing. And I'm hoping that every state and the entire nation has something like this. So I'm just going to go out on a limb. In my opinion, I'm going to say this was probably Iran that did this. But apparently, according to Minnesota state officials, the cyber attack spanned 2 days. So yeah, that happened.
How many times you see new racial stuff coming up? They always have to hit the race baiting. They always have to hit the religion baiting. Anything that keeps you divided, walk away from it. Walk away from it. I'm not buying into this. Stop buying into race. Oh God, we all hate each other. And stop buying into the debating of anything that makes you angst and mad. Stop investing in it.
tout brûle.
Texas searched 83,000 flock cameras nationwide to hunt down a woman that had an abortion. Welcome to hell.
There's a lake, we'll start there. The lake is where stuff just comes up out of. And I've always imagined that there's something living in that lake that chucks me things. It just throws things up at me that I catch. And then I take them in the shed and I work on them.
I know channeling exists. You see many artists, musicians, everyone talk about how they let something take over. But in terms of those books, do you not think it's a bit of a coincidence that the first one's called The Philosopher's Stone? Now, what's the original Philosopher's Stone? It's the Emerald Tablets, occult esoteric knowledge written by Thoth. Even look at the symbolism in the Deathly Hallows. It's the exact same symbology that's used in Hermetic symbology. That whole series is made to glorify occult symbology and occult practices. And isn't it funny how one of the first books I ever read was The Philosopher's Stone as a kid? I skipped years later, before I found God. Why did I find myself reading the Kabbalion, reading the Emerald Tablets? Ain't it funny? Before I found Jesus Christ, I was dabbling and reading them books. And that is a very dangerous game to play.
In retrospect, it seems very clear that whatever this pandemic was, whether it was A, planned from the get-go, or B, capitalizing on an accidental leak of a biologically engineered virus, it has to be one of those two, whichever one of those it is, knowing who took advantage of this and for what is vital, because the purpose wasn't about biology. The purpose was about governmental control, and the controls remain even if the pandemic has receded.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what we saw, I mean, this is why my book takes us through the aftermath, which is what I see, this rise of digital authoritarianism we are seeing across the West. I mean, for example, and I see, let's say, take vaccine passports that were used. Those were that was proof of concept that it would work, that you could get people to comply, that you could say that your right, your fundamental right of travel, work, is now conditional on a government-approved digital credential. This is extremely frightening. And what we have now, Brett, I mean, in this country, you know, they are heavily pushing digital IDs. We have obviously now just recently, and I've written about this on my Substack, that the UK government are going to be banning social media for under 16s, right? And the way I see that is, you know, they're using the thing, a highly emotive issue of course, children's safety. We all care about children's safety online. But it's a Trojan horse, I see it, for mandatory digital.
The following video, two sisters are alone at home, hiding inside a room when their house alarm starts to go off.
I'm recording. Wait. Do you hear that?
As it seems, someone had entered their home. Their security camera shows the front door open, suggesting that someone did in fact break inside. But what's strange about this is that when they replay the moment the door opens, no one is seen. It just seemingly opens up all on its own. Now at this moment, the two sisters didn't see how the door opened up. They just saw that the door was wide open, and it doesn't help that they just heard a police siren outside their house. But as if the situation couldn't escalate anymore, this happens.
What is it?
Clear. Clear.
As it seems, another presence had been inside the home, though not the kind they were expecting. Both sisters initially thought a person had broken in, but upon watching the footage and seeing the small, shadowy figure dashing past the camera, they knew that this was something else. Whatever this was doesn't appear to have any discernible features, and it doesn't help that it moves exceedingly fast before disappearing out of nowhere.
The fact that it just moved so quickly, yeah. But then like, the motion capture camera didn't see that shape. And like when it was
Even the camera seems to have trouble identifying the figure. There's moments when it passes by and no visual tracker appears around it. But then strangely, at times, the green box appears in a dark room as though something was being detected. Never before has the camera done this until tonight when the door opened by itself.
front door opening on its own, that closed, we closed that door.
And I mean, this house is like brand new, like it's not old or like anything.
Yeah.
Considering that all this activity was preceded by the door opening, they believe something paranormal had forced its way in, which makes you wonder about the video from early on. Could it be that something supernatural had opened the bedroom door at the beginning of this video, or was it simply due to something else? After watching the footage, it's hard to say what exactly occurred. Just what exactly was the camera picking up that night? As always, let me know your thoughts on this one.
NOAA just officially upgraded the El Nino that's sitting in the Pacific right now, and it is officially on track to become the strongest one ever in recorded history. If you don't know, the El Nino is that warming pattern in the Pacific that basically flips the weather across the entire planet, but NOAA just put out an official advisory and raised the odds. They're now giving it a 77 to 91% chance of being the strongest one ever recorded, so we obviously can't seem to catch a break. They're saying that it's also strengthening faster than the big ones in 1997 or 2015 did, so it's not just bigger, it's ramping up quicker than anything we've ever seen. This climate scientist said that he is truly shocked by it and that it's outside anything that we have ever observed. And as you could imagine, all of that heat going into the atmosphere has 2027 now being forecasted to be the hottest year that humans have ever lived through. But it's already been so unbelievably hot this year alone that people have literally been betting on Kalshi for whether or not 2026 will be the hottest year, and it hasn't even hit its peak. That's not until sometime. They just sent robots inside of the Great Pyramid where no human has ever been before, and they found a sealed door that has not been opened in 4,500 years. Dude, they're about to open it and reveal what's inside of it this year. So Zahi Hawass, which is arguably the most famous archaeologist alive, just went on record and said, "We will reveal to the world what lies behind that door." He actually just called this a discovery that will, quote, "write a new chapter in the history of the pharaohs." Okay. And here's what most people don't know about this so far. They've already sent robots into parts of the corridor where no humans have ever been. They were able to use thermal imaging, 3D mapping, and muon radiography, which is basically cosmic rays to see through solid stone from space. He also just went ahead and said that he's about to fulfill 2 lifelong goals. The first one is discovering a brand new tomb of the man who designed the very first Egyptian pyramid ever built, and then the tomb of Queen Nefertiti. Okay. Scientists have also now confirmed that they also found 2 hidden voids behind the eastern wall of the smallest Giza pyramid that might be a secret entrance that's been sealed for 5,000 years. Go ahead and add me right now, because the moment they crack that door open, you're about to hear about
Orca headbutts a sunfish so hard it explodes.
So this is a newly documented behavior. Just in the last maybe 6 months, they've found that orcas will literally explode fish from impact. Boom, turns into pieces. Whether it's a game or what, but this is not the first time they're doing this. They're starting to just explode these fish just because.
How are they doing that? Like, how fast are they going? I would have never imagined that that would actually be possible. They literally turn to dust.
I think those are the orca, like we're born.
Always trust your dog's instincts. This guy was at work when his dogs Frank and Mac were asleep at home until something unexplainable wakes them up. What sounds like a voice whispering my house can be heard. And it happens right before the dogs suddenly get spooked, and then the door opens by itself. Last Mammoth has always been somewhat of a skeptic of the paranormal, but recently he has experienced things like this that he just can't explain. He says this very same morning a bird flew into his wife's office door, which was most likely a bad omen. They believe that something is following his wife because she has been experiencing creepy and unexplainable things ever since her cousin passed.
It's a symbol for their takeover. So check out the inside of this place. I wasn't able to go all the way inside, but I was able to see the lobby. Massive doorways, 30-foot high arches, stairways on both sides, not a single sheet of drywall in sight. This was just your average 1800s palace. I would love to have a library card to this place, where I'm guessing this was not originally constructed to be your local library. And I'm not sure if I should talk about this next place, and we all know why at this point. Episode 59 had some issues with it. So I'll try to do this, but in a way where you might have to comment below and ask someone what I meant. But hopefully you can all understand what I'm trying to say. Here we go. Do we all know this location? Around 23 years ago, it was on the news, and something massive happened here. And we have talked about the catacombs, where they charge an entry fee to nearly every single one, to see what they have done to the people, putting them into geometric patterns. People that were taking up too much space, supposedly. Well, we have the same sort of weird thing going on here. Charging us money to go and see this memorial that they've put together, supposedly for the victims, but they collect money for you to go inside. It's a very strange thing to profit off of, in my opinion. And putting one of these at the front gate. And is this not just rubbing it all right in our faces? Let's go to the Grand Central Terminal, where they tell us that this was born in 1913, where they just skip over the whole construction part of things on their website. They just start the story off by saying, it's here for us all to see. So let's see why they did this. They don't seem to want to share those details, where it starts off by saying, the original Grand Central Depot is constructed in 2 years. 24 years before the power tool. Here it is, right here on their site. I'll zoom in so you can all get a better look. Can you believe that they tell us 2 years to construct this, when it takes 2 years to build a strip mall? And
yep, the Pacific is heating so fast the scale used to rate it does not go this high, with warnings now stating it will be much hotter than they initially thought, and this might put us in the danger zone. People were terrified after 9 out of 10 forecast models came back above anything ever recorded. The water heating so fast the life underneath is shutting down. Half of the world's coral turning bone white, and everything the sea loses comes back at us on land. In food, it stops giving, and the heat it starts releasing. Hunting reports show the heat exploding roads upwards, launching a car into the air, planes grounded because the air is too hot to hold them up, shellfish cooking alive in their shells on the beach, sidewalks reaching temperatures that send people straight into burn units, and this is all expected to more than double in the coming month. But it gets much worse, as when it fully peaks, forecasters expect global temperatures to hit levels never once recorded month after month deep into next year, and scientists warning heat this strong could shove the planet's weather into a new pattern that locks in for decades. And the heat the ocean is soaking up right now will not hit the air for months, meaning next year takes the full blast, with nearly 4 out of every 10 predictions on Kalshi already saying the 2027 year is going to become the hottest year ever recorded.
We've got this image taken of an object near Jupiter from one of those big, huge telescopes like they have on the hills in California, Colorado, or in Central America. In fact, those giant, massive telescopes are in just about every country. But this image was taken with one of those telescopes, and they spotted an object near Jupiter. Let's, like I always do, take a closer look. So this is the thing they saw, and that doesn't look like a natural object to me. It doesn't look like a rock. Heck, it doesn't even look like a toboggan. A toboggan is a sled you use during winter. Of course, that wouldn't be flying out in space near Jupiter. But whatever this thing is, it's big, it's massive, and it was skeet-scat and shabdabbing right by Jupiter. There's a lot of strange stuff going on, and these huge telescopes catch some of it. And most of the times, that never gets released. But for some reason, this did. So it gives us a chance to think of what it could possibly be. And I want your opinion. Let me know in the comment section, Booshkies.
So why did LeBron James decide to join the Sixers on the anniversary of King James being made king? Oh, I know why. It's because it's scripted. Nothing is a coincidence. The clock is ticking. LeBron.
SpongeBob, the movie, is actually the Odyssey. No. Get the fuck out of here. All of these things that happen in SpongeBob, the movie, happen in the Odyssey. What? Odysseus disrespected the Greek god Poseidon. Yeah. SpongeBob disrespected the Greek god Neptune. Oh, the Greek god was alive? Yeah. So because he disrespected him, he had to go on to this whole path of getting back home after and seeing all these different monsters, the crypts that look very familiar to the ones in the Odyssey. He literally fought a Cyclops. The scene where he goes to see Hades. SpongeBob dies, man. He's in the afterlife. One of the craziest details. Odysseus is always favored by Athena. SpongeBob the movie, he's favored by another Greek goddess. Who? It was the daughter of Neptune, always helping SpongeBob and Patrick. You know what I'm saying? Because she always favored SpongeBob. Craziest one. Ready? At the end of the movie, what happens? Odysseus comes home and starts shooting everybody up because they all wanted to take his throne. SpongeBob abandoned the Krusty Krab, feel me? He left home, and all of these people wanted to take over the Krusty Krab. What did SpongeBob do? I'm a goofy goofer. Bah, 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 bah. Start shooting everybody up with his guitar.
You
Just
people
because this
down
is an
here.
uncomfortable
Stop.
topic.
Officers, please remove this man from the room.
You just violated the First Amendment.
Whoop. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
I think we all remember the Challenger explosion that took place in 1986 that tragically took the lives of all 7 astronauts on board. As a couple decades later, this thing called the internet came about, and someone allegedly found almost all of those astronauts alive and well, many using the same exact names. As you can see here, we have Challenger astronaut Judith Resnick and also Judith Resnick, Yale law professor. Michael J. Smith, the pilot of the Challenger astronaut, and also professor at University of Wisconsin, now retired, Michael J. Smith. Commander Dick Scobie, who is now president of Cows and Trees. Now, if you'll notice, they all have the exact same faces 30 some odd years later, the same exact name. Ms. Resnick was questioned at Yale by a journalist, and she panicked and ran from the camera. Why?
Conspiracy about space shuttle. No, I want to be polite.
Mr. Michael J. Smith was also questioned, and he said, yeah, we look alike, but that's not me.
Are you Michael Smith? Yeah. Are you aware of that there's a rumor on the internet that people are saying...
Yeah, it's not me, obviously. I mean, it's interesting that the Michael J. Smith that was the astronaut looks something like me when we were younger, but really not.
Yeah, you just sure look alike. It's the same name.
I know the facial thing, but that's what we look like, what, 40 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to believe that 3 people from one space flight have exact lookalikes that have the same age and same exact names.
Sir,
Mr.
I'm going to
Scobie
have
not only
to.
has.
I'm going to have to.
Sir,
stop
this is
you.
a public comment.
I know what it is, sir. I'm very familiar with the public comment.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Will you let me finish for at least 10
No,
seconds?
sir. You're finished. Thank you.
Thank you for taking away my freedom of speech today in here.
I did not take away your freedom of speech.
Yes, you did.
I don't want to hear it from you
Just
people
because
down
this is
here.
an uncomfortable
Stop.
topic.
Officers, please remove this man from the room.
You just violated the First Amendment.
Am I the only nigga out here that thinks this shit looks just a little bit odd? So those were the fires that started up there in Canada. Now, unless I'm seeing some shit, it looked like they all kind of appeared at the exact same time, almost all in a perfect straight line. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I have never in my fucking life seen a wildfire start like that. I mean, shit. Have you? Huh?